The cameras flashed, the crowd froze, and just like that, Hollywood had a massive new obsession.
Yeah, I mean, the lighting was perfect. That pristine, almost glowing hospital light.
Exactly. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, literally one of the most recognizable humans on the planet,
Yeah.
sitting there holding a newborn baby.
And then in the very next shot, he's holding twins.
Right. The cameras captured the moment, the crowd went wild, except none of it actually happened.
No, not at all.
The cameras didn't capture light bouncing off a real hospital room. A machine just hallucinated a pattern of pixels because it calculated that you would click on it. Welcome to Starscope Report.
Join us as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals.
From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And today, we're diving into a headline that's basically been everywhere. You know, the Rock's family just addressed a secret that's been spreading for weeks.
It's such a wild story because it completely upends, like, the oldest rule of the internet. We all grew up with this universal, comforting phrase, right? Picture it didn't happen.
Oh, totally. A photograph used to be the absolute gold standard of evidence. It represented this clean, mechanical, objective process. You point the lens, open the shutter, and you literally record reality.
But today, if you look at the landscape of online information, that old rule is entirely flipped. Now, seeing a hyper-realistic, glossy image is often your very first clue that what you're looking at is a complete fabrication.
Yeah, which is exactly why we've been looking through this massive stack of celebrity profiles, entertainment news articles, and social media analyses this week. We really wanted to answer one specific question.
Right, when a lie looks more realistic than the truth, how do you actually fight back?
So our mission today is to unpack this bizarre viral rumor from the weekend of April 26, 2026, the secret Miami babies that Dwayne Johnson and his wife Lauren Hashian supposedly had.
We're going to use this crazy headline as a lens to explore the actual reality of their family dynamic, the incredibly grounding career of Lauren Hashian, and, well, the unsettling economics of the AI misinformation machine.
Because by the end of this deep dive, you're going to see how one couple handled the weirdest kind of modern internet rumor.
And what their reaction teaches you about navigating a feed where seeing is no longer believing. But I have to say, the way they responded, that's not even the wildest part of this whole situation.
No, it really isn't. But real quick, if you're loving these Hollywood twists, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead.
Okay, so to understand the mechanics of this, we really have to look at how quickly a completely invented scenario can just masquerade as breaking news.
Yeah, so over that April weekend, these AI-generated photos didn't just casually appear. They were strategically seeded on platforms like Facebook.
Strategically being the key word there.
Exactly. The images showed Dwayne and Lauren in a Miami hospital room, looking perfectly styled, holding a newborn. And they were accompanied by these fully written fake news reports claiming it was a quiet, unexpected birth.
It's so creepy how detailed the fake reports were.
Hmm.
And then, as if they were just testing which bait you would bite harder, a second iteration of the AI photo dropped.
Right, this time showing them holding twins.
Which is where I want to focus on the reaction. Because when a massive celebrity gets targeted by a fake news story, the standard playbook is usually to bring out the heavy artillery.
Oh, for sure. PR teams tend to treat internet rumors like a grease fire.
Yes. Their instinct is to blast it with a high-pressure water hose. You get the angry press statements, the, cease and desist letters from higher-powered lawyers.
But firing that water hose just spreads the flaming grease across the algorithmic feed.
Exactly. It just gives the rumor oxygen. Lauren Hashian, however, didn't use a water hose. She just calmly placed a lid on the pan.
Her timing was just brilliant. It was the crucial element that dismantled the algorithm's momentum. Instead of fueling the fire with outrage or a formal denial, she took to her Instagram stories on a Sunday morning.
And she actually took the fake images and shared them herself, which is such a flex.
It really is. On the photo with one baby, she wrote, "Apparently I had a new baby in Miami."
And on the twins photo, she added, "Make that 2. I had 2 babies." Complete with, like, a string of laughing emojis.
Yeah, she told her followers she thought everyone would enjoy a good Sunday laugh.
It's a fascinating psychological pivot. By using humor, by taking ownership of the joke, she instantly disarmed the entire thing. But I've been thinking about the psychology of the audience here. Why was this specific rumor so believable to millions of people in the first place?
Well, the AI didn't just invent a random scenario, right? It weaponized the existing public narrative.
Right, because people know Dwayne is a devoted family guy, a total girl dad.
Yeah, he posts about his daughters all the time. So an algorithm generates an image of him having more kids, and our brains just completely bypass the critical thinking phase.
Because the story feels emotionally correct, even if the pixels are entirely fake.
The machine leverages narrative plausibility. Generative AI models are trained on vast data sets of human interaction, meaning they literally understand what kinds of stories generate positive, high-friction engagement.
Like a secret baby announcement.
Exactly. The idea of the Johnson-Hashian family quietly welcoming another child fits seamlessly into the established public perception of their lives. It didn't seem out of character, which is the primary reason users shared it without a second thought.
It felt true. But if you want to see just how absurd and sanitized those glossy AI hospital photos were, you just have to look at what the family was actually doing that exact same week.
Oh, the contrast is hilarious.
It's incredible. The contrast between the algorithm's fantasy and the human reality is just, it's night and day.
Because the grounded reality is a stark departure from that Miami hospital scene, the Johnson-Hashian household is already a heavily occupied family of 4.
Very heavily occupied.
Yeah.
They share 2 daughters, Jasmine, who is 10, and Tiana, who is 8.
Additionally, Dwayne has a 24-year-old daughter, Simone, from his previous marriage to Danny Garcia.
And as a quick side note on that family tree, Simone wrestles in the WWE under the name Ava Raine.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, she was reportedly the WWE's youngest signee at just 18. Furthermore, Dwayne and Danny Garcia still successfully co-parent and run major production businesses together. So this is already a highly established, complex family dynamic.
Right, so going back to that specific April weekend, while the internet was buzzing with these glossy, computer-generated twins, Dwayne and Lauren were actually in the trenches of parenting.
Throwing an 8th birthday party for Tiana. And the hyper-specific details of this party are what make it the ultimate anti-AI moment.
The party was entirely themed around the K-pop girl group KATSEYE.
Think about the visual of this. You have Dwayne Johnson, literally one of the most physically imposing, highest-paid action stars on Earth, and he posts a video of himself carrying this slightly goofy, heavily decorated homemade birthday cake while singing Happy Birthday.
And the room isn't some pristine, backlit VIP club.
No, it's just completely decked out in purple balloons, foil curtains, and party napkins.
And the cake itself is this magnificent masterpiece of dad effort.
It really was. It had a fondant replica of a tiny sandwich on it.
A sandwich?
Yeah, which the sources note is a deep-cut nod to KATSEYE's single art for their song Gnarly. It had song titles like Pinky Up and Gabriella written across the icing, a sparkly 8 candle, and Dwayne proudly tagged the whole thing with a hashtag homemade cake for the win.
That homemade cake highlights something so essential about modern media consumption and what we call algorithmic reward.
How so?
Well, the AI-generated dramatic, perfectly lit celebrity hospital scene because it calculates that high-gloss drama drives clicks, which translates to longer dwell time on a web page.
And dwell time equals ad revenue.
Exactly. But an AI doesn't understand the messy, unpretentious reality of a global movie star baking an imperfect K-pop cake with a fondant sandwich. The machine optimizes for glossy perfection. Human reality optimizes for connection.
It's the ultimate paradox.
Huh.
The machine dreams up this pristine celebrity milestone, but the human reality is just purple napkins and dad hashtags.
Yeah.
And looking at the sources, that grounded, unpretentious family dynamic doesn't just happen by accident when you live in that level of the Hollywood stratosphere.
No, it takes work.
It requires a very specific type of anchor behind the scenes. And later in the episode, we'll talk about the shocking background of Lauren Hashian that explains exactly how she keeps them all so grounded.
Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next, because her story is honestly incredible.
It really is. Her personal history is frequently flattened in the press. Like, headlines often reduce her to simply The Rock's wife. But her story is deeply embedded in the music industry.
Which perfectly explains her calm, almost clinical detachment when dealing with media hysteria. She is the daughter of the late Sib Hashian, the drummer for the legendary rock band Boston.
Which means she didn't just marry into fame, she grew up in the exact epicenter of arena rock stardom. But from what I read, it wasn't just about riding in limousines.
Far from it. Growing up with a working musician imparts a very specific, unglamorous view of the entertainment industry.
Yeah, the daily grind.
Exactly. She has noted in interviews that her core understanding of discipline came directly from watching her father practice his drums every single day.
Right. She saw the repetitive, exhausting mechanics of the work long before she saw the applause.
And that foundational understanding of the grind translated into her own life. She attended Emerson College, worked in the music departments at Warner Music Group and Paramount Pictures, and actively sought out the harsh realities of the business.
There is a detail in these sources that I think perfectly explains her armor against internet trolls. Back in 2005, she competed on a reality show called Are You the Girl?
Oh,
Yeah, it was judged by T-Boz and Chili from TLC, and they were looking for a guest vocalist. Lauren, who is an R&B singer at heart, was a finalist.
think about reality TV in 2005.
Exactly. It was unscripted, highly critical, and brutally judgmental. Having T-Boz critique your performance on national television in the mid-2000s builds a level of psychological resilience that makes a fake AI Facebook photo look like absolute child's play.
For sure. She has been hustling, facing public judgment, and navigating the industry long before she ever crossed paths with Dwayne Johnson.
That experience in the crucible of early reality television is vital context. She possesses profound media literacy.
And she's still a powerhouse. She frequently collaborates with her sister Aja, writing music together, and she released her own EP titled Love and Other Things, Side A. Her creative output is a constant independent force.
Think about how a hybrid car actually works. The internal combustion gas engine makes all the noise, produces the exhaust, and provides the high-speed cruising power. In this dynamic, that's Dwayne's massive global blockbuster persona. It takes up all the visible space.
Right, you see the car flying down the highway.
Exactly. But a hybrid car doesn't move from a dead stop without the electric motor. The electric motor provides the quiet, immediate, invisible torque that actually gets the heavy machine rolling.
That's a great analogy.
Lauren is that electric motor. She's providing this massive amount of creative horsepower and emotional grounding, entirely under the radar.
The creative partnership they share demonstrates exactly that kind of dual-engine propulsion. For their surprise wedding in Hawaii in 2019, Lauren wrote a song called Step Into a Love Like This and surprised Dwayne with the performance on their wedding day.
That is so sweet.
It is. But she also quietly powers his commercial vehicles. She co-wrote the end credits song for his massive Netflix blockbuster Red Notice.
She also directed the music video for Exile, which was the end credit song for his superhero movie Black Adam.
Her fingerprints are actively shaping the creative output of his most significant projects. And there was another deeply telling moment in 2022.
At the football game, right?
Yes, she sang the national anthem at a Rams and Seahawks game at SoFi Stadium. Dwayne stood on the field holding their daughters and later posted about the profound emotional impact of watching his children feel such immense pride in their mother's talent.
It is a highly reciprocal, actively supportive dynamic that balances the weight of his fame.
Definitely.
When you stack all of that evidence together, her childhood watching a rock star practice rudiments, her own grueling hustle in the 2005 reality TV landscape, her quiet creative engine powering her husband's blockbusters, it completely demystifies her reaction to the AI rumor.
It makes total sense. She knows exactly how the sausage is manufactured in Hollywood.
She understands the media cycle on a molecular level. So when she sees a fake photo of herself in a Miami hospital, she doesn't panic. She sees the code in the matrix and she just laughs at it.
She correctly identifies it as manufactured engagement bait and neutralizes it. However, while her media literacy allowed her to handle the situation gracefully, we cannot ignore the much darker systemic issue hiding beneath this story.
Right.
We really need to dissect the actual mechanics of the AI misinformation machine that generated those photos.
Let's get into the how and the why of this, because the technology has fundamentally altered the barrier to entry for spreading lies. Like 5 years ago, creating a fake image of Dwayne Johnson in a hospital required a skilled Photoshop artist spending hours manipulating lighting, shadows, and blending layers.
It took real effort and money.
Exactly. Today, generative AI tools allow anyone to place real, highly recognizable people into invented, photorealistic scenarios with zero technical skill. You type a text prompt, Dwayne Johnson holding newborn twins in Miami hospital, cinematic lighting, and in 4 seconds you have a high-resolution image.
The ease of creation is only half the equation, though. The other half is the economic incentive.
Which is where it gets really shady.
Yeah, the sources highlight that overseas content farms and engagement baiting accounts intentionally target celebrities with massive cross-demographic reach, like Johnson.
They don't care about the celebrity's actual life.
Not at all. They care about the economics of the platform. They post these images to platforms like Facebook, where the algorithm prioritizes content that triggers immediate emotional reactions, like, congratulations for a new baby.
And let's talk about the user experience for a second. Think about how you scroll on your phone. You're swiping quickly with your thumb, In the fraction of a second that a thumbnail appears on your screen, an AI image looks incredibly plausible.
Especially for older demographics who learned their media literacy in an era where photographs were inherently truthful.
Right, you see a familiar face, you feel a
Yeah.
positive emotion, you type congratulations, and you share it. Every one of those microactions tells the algorithm, this is highly engaging content.
And then the platform pushes the fake image to 10,000 more feeds.
Exactly, and the content farm cashes in on the programmatic ad revenue running alongside the post.
The velocity of the lie entirely outpaces the velocity of the truth. As the articles point out, today the prompt generated a relatively harmless, positive fake pregnancy. But the exact same underlying technology, driven by the exact same economic incentives, is routinely being used right now to fabricate fake celebrity deaths, fake political endorsements, and fake accidents.
That is the terrifying part of this whole equation. By the time a public figure's PR team drafts a statement, gets it approved by legal, and issues a correction, millions of people have already consumed the fake news.
And human nature dictates that most of those people will never see the retraction.
No, they won't. They will just continue their lives believing the fake event is historical fact.
Which brings us to a critical debate regarding strategy in the modern digital era. Lauren Hashian's response, laughing it off, sharing the image to mock it, and gently correcting the record without anger, is being heavily praised in these media analyses as the new gold standard for handling unstoppable misinformation.
Because it starves the engagement karma of the outrage it relies on.
Exactly.
I have to push back on that conclusion, though. I think calling her response the gold standard is dangerous.
How so?
Well, placing a lid on the pan worked perfectly here because the underlying rumor was inherently positive. A new baby is happy news. You can afford to laugh at it.
True.
But what happens when that same AI technology, driven by the same engagement farms, generates an image of a celebrity or a politician committing a heinous crime, or being involved in a career-ending scandal? You can't just post a laughing emoji on an image that accuses you of a felony.
No, you really can't.
Doesn't a malicious attack inherently demand the sledgehammer approach of lawyers and PR crises?
Your pushback identifies the exact structural flaw in our current legal and technological framework. The laugh-it-off strategy is incredibly fragile. It only works for benign gossip. The technological mechanism generating the image does not distinguish between a benign baby rumor and malicious defamation. If an AI image accuses someone of a crime, aggressive legal action and PR defense are absolutely mandatory to protect the individual's livelihood.
You have to fight back.
But the profound danger is the asymmetry of time. The sledgehammer of the legal system is agonizingly slow. Filing a defamation lawsuit takes months or years of discovery and litigation.
While the AI image achieves global virality in an hour.
Exactly. The reputational destruction is instantaneous, while the legal remedy is delayed to the point of irrelevance for the victim's immediate reality.
So what does this actually mean for you, the person just trying to read the news on your phone? We started this deep dive looking at a completely bizarre AI-generated rumor about secret twins in Miami.
We contrasted the algorithm's glossy perfection with the heartwarming purple napkin reality of a homemade K-pop birthday cake.
We examined the impressive multi-layered resilience of Lauren Hashian, built in the trenches of the music and reality TV industries.
And finally, we collided with the sobering economic realities of engagement farming in an era where reality can be typed into a prompt box.
It demands a fundamental evolutionary shift in how we process visual information. The sources clearly demonstrate that even the most mundane, happy milestones can and will be completely fabricated purely to harvest your clicks.
This requires moving from passive scrolling to active, defensive skepticism.
Right. When an image triggers a strong emotional response, whether that's joy or outrage, you have to pause the scroll. You have to ask yourself, what is the source of this account? What is the economic incentive for someone sharing this? Is there a single piece of corroborating evidence from the actual human beings involved?
I know, it sounds exhausting. It's a massive amount of cognitive work just to look at your social media feeds.
It really is.
But it is entirely necessary to protect your own perception of the world, because it brings us full circle to the death of the internet's oldest rule. Pics, or it didn't happen, is officially dead and buried.
The photograt has been demoted. It is no longer the definitive end of an argument. It is merely the starting point for an investigation.
Which leaves us with a lingering question to mull over as we wrap up.
Yeah. As these generative AI models get exponentially better over the next few years, when the hands no longer have 6 fingers, when the lighting perfectly matches the environment, when the backgrounds make absolute logical sense? Will our default psychological state become absolute disbelief of everything we see online?
Are we entering an era where the only way we can trust the news is if we hear it directly out of the physical mouths of the people themselves?
Or are we slowly, comfortably losing our grip on a shared reality entirely? Something to really think about the next time a picture-perfect moment stops you in your timeline.
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture.
Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.